Welcome back to 50 Targeted Traffic Methods for Online Business. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss writing press releases as another way for you to get traffic to your site. Now, just here at the outset, before I go and show you where you're going to find the press release sites that you're going to submit your press release to, a couple of rules here, and we'll review these at the end. You want to be writing these on a regular basis, and basically what you're doing is you're writing them as news about your site, news about your product, news about maybe if you're doing an interview, but whatever you're doing in your niche, you want to be writing a press release and submitting them to the online directories and to news agencies in your local area. You really want to try to announce real news, so you're not writing an article informing people about your niche. You're telling them about the news that's going on in your niche that you're doing. And in particular, whenever you can connect it to a personal story of some kind, that press release will likely to get read and picked up more easily. Now, when you do this, one of the things you want to do is you want to be developing relationships with people in your niche, whether they're magazines in your niche or in your local area. You want to develop relationships with influential bloggers. And one other trick is to use QR codes on your actual press release. Now, let's take a look for some of the online directories that you can actually go and submit your press release to. Now, in this particular case, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Google here, and what we're going to do is we're going to actually search for online press releases. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see a number of sites that you can use, and in some cases you're going to have to pay. Some of the more reputable firms where you're going to be submitting your press release, you're more likely to get your press release seen and picked up if you go with some of the paid directories, but you can also use some of the unpaid directories. Now, one of the questions is typically, should you, when you submit, let's say if you submit a press release to PR Web, as I'm showing you here, or if you submit one to Online PR News, should you submit the same press release? And there are varying schools of thought on this. I'm going to suggest that you at least vary your press release slightly for each directory that you submit to. Remember, what you want to do is you want these press releases to be picked up by local news. You want them to be picked up in the search engine so that they can be found and drive traffic back to your site. One of the keys that you'll be doing is you'll be using keyword research, which again we'll be doing a video on that topic specifically. You want to make sure that your keywords are there in the press release for what you want to be found for. But if you type in online press releases, you'll find a number of sites that you can use. And typically the ones near the top, you're going to find pricing that's going to vary. For instance, if you were to go with PR Web, you'll notice here that one release is $159, another one is $199. Now again, most folks are not going to do that every time they have news. They're going to submit to free press release sites. And if you just type in free when you do a search there, you'll find a number of sites that'll give you the opportunity to submit your press release for free. As a matter of fact, you'll find a number of sites which will have collections of free press release distribution sites that you can use in order to get the word out. Now, again, the key to this is to make sure that you're going to use the keywords that you want to be found for, both in the news and in the search engines. So let's take a brief review. When you do this, you're going to do this on a regular basis. We just looked at some of the online directories. Remember, you can also submit these to the news agencies in your local area. And just make sure that, again, this is real news. And one of the key ways of being able to get these press releases so that they're seen, so that they drive traffic back to your site, is to develop relationships with the key and influential people in your niche, both bloggers and news representatives. And again, one of the things that you're going to be able to do when you, and I'll show you this here in a minute. One of the things that you're going to do is when you get the opportunity to submit an image, one thing that you can do is you can go and you can submit a QR code for your image. And all you've really got to do in order to do that is to find one of the free QR code generators. And when you set up your QR code, you'll find one of these sites, and what you're going to do is you're going to put your website here to be the thing that this scanned QR code for mobile users will draw people back to. Okay, so that's another thing you can do. You're going to make this one of the images that you submit to the press release sites, again, so that mobile users will see it, and then they will then scan it and then have themselves taken back to your site or wherever else it is that you want them to be taken to. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video.